I'm so glad you're here for this half hour because I've brought on a speaker that I've worked with a couple of times. We've done webinars together. He's been on my show before. And Uwe Dockhorn, thanks for doing this again because I purposefully reached out to you. I just shared this before we came on camera together, but someone who watched our show the last time we were together, you touched her heart deeply. And so so I'm just really blessed to know you. We met a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago, I think it was, and it's just been a beautiful relationship. So I can't wait for people to hear about you, your a little bit about your background, and then how you got into what you're doing, and of
Mm.
course, you have some amazing formulas. And so I just can't wait for what you're going to share here in this half hour, Uwe. So welcome to this leadership summit, and you can take it away. And I'm going to be taking notes.
Oh, thank you so much for this kind introduction. And I'm already having the goosebump shivers, that I stand for. And I really love and appreciate you very much. And thank you for sharing this beautiful feedback. It really moves me. And I think that's so important in our line of work, that we are moved and move others. Thank you again for that. So yes, I'm Uwe Dockhorn. I'm the CEO at Liberating Lifestyles and the founder of the AIM Experience, a three-step transformational experience for in-demand professionals and their spouses or life partners. And I believe in cultivating the internal certainty and clarity that improve your outcomes financially in business and emotionally in relationships. And I have this belief very early on because my parents, when I grew up, were having a hospitality business, and there was always these two sides. But and that was what motivated me then, and what kind of like enables me also today. And I get more into that what I do today in a bit. And what also motivates me daily is to see, that belief also working out with my clients in delivering more than now over 17,000 live sessions on the AIM experience worldwide in the last 14 years. And I've worked with high achievers and their VIPs, as I call them, very important partners in almost every industry, role, and lifestyle, helping them achieve lasting results in 8 hours or less. You see, what I realized was that from the perspective of the VIP, too often, they feel they're kind of like down here, while there's the breadwinner on the other side of the equation, and they are up there. So this is an unequal power dynamic. And from the perspective of the VIP, they feel abandoned. They ask themselves, what about me? What's the next step in my career? Why don't you spend more time with me and the kids? And the anguish and arguments start over and over. And the big D is looming at the horizon. And if they decide to go that path of a divorce, essentially what it means is they decided to live an independent life outside of marriage.
Mhm.
So this is where I come into the picture, and what I do differently, because I'm not a family therapist, I'm not a family counselor, is I coach both partners at the same time, but separately.
So
So
powerful.
yeah, it is. And the first thing we do is they regain their independence in their relationship. And we do this in regular, we bring it together in regular evaluation sessions, which we call falling back in love sessions. And, lots of goosebumps moments involved, as I mentioned earlier. It's also, my preferred question on my podcast, Lift Off with Energizing Results. And they find the peace and the deepest connection possible in these sessions, so they can upgrade to an interdependent relationship, which essentially means enjoying unshakable togetherness, more free time, and better results at work while practically eliminating the risk of a costly divorce. And this is so powerful that I'm really thriving on that today, but it wasn't always like this. And if I may, I want to just share the moment that changed everything for me. You
Yeah, I
see,
would love for you to do that, Uwe. I would love it. Yeah.
oh cool, thank you. You see, 6 days before Christmas 2016, my mother died, and I always cherished that I was there for her, holding her hands when she left. I loved my family, and it was my safe haven. Although they gave me their love and their protection as a young boy. As you know, I was sexually abused and told no one. And then, after I lost two very important family members, my uncle when I was 16 and my father when I was 23, something just broke inside of me. And I started to believe that the remaining members of my family had given up on me. I distanced myself from them, even my mother, because I felt I couldn't risk opening up to them. I became isolated, separated from friends, lost my job, was overwhelmed, physically and emotionally exhausted, and felt there was no reason for being in this world. I wasn't sad or angry. The truth is, I didn't feel anything at all. And that's when I found myself on the edge of a bridge one cold winter night. And I could see my breath as I slowly leaned forward. I let go. But at that moment, something happened. For the very first time since my father had died, I felt something inside me. And it drew me back from jumping. It literally saved my life. You see, that night, I learned an important lesson. I learned that transformation requires more than letting go of the status quo. Without the other half of the equation, letting go just leaves you in free fall. So if all I had done on that bridge was let go, then I would not be here talking to you today. So you're probably wondering, what is the other half? Well, the second half of the equation is to feel, perceive, and let in what is already there. Letting go and letting in, it's a two-part mechanism. They are only complete as a pair. On that bridge, all those years ago, I let in a small spark that grew into a powerful flame. And I made myself a promise that I'm still keeping today. To make it my life's mission to help others learn this secret. Because letting go and letting in is crucial for your well-being and your family's happiness. Letting in energy, positive thoughts, and a sense of certainty. Letting go of self-doubt, fear, negativity, and stress. It really is that simple. And the more you do it, the more it happens. It's like a switch that you can consciously flip to strengthen and re-energize your relationship with your partner every single day. Your letting go and letting in switch is also your own anti-burnout system, and it even can divorce-proof your marriage. So that's why I'm here today with you. And and we demonstrate this monthly in the effects of the AIM experience. We have a live demonstration that we run. So there's, you don't need a credit card, so you just show up and it's engaging, and where I share, how does this process work? So essentially, the AIM experience, the AIM, AIM, is an acronym that stands for Activation, Implementation, and Manifestation. So it has that double sense also. And you know, each level goes deeper. With activation, we activate your letting go, letting in mechanism. Then with implementation, we go a level deeper and we implement, you know, your, everything in your 7 success areas. And then with manifestation, the deepest level, you know, I always quote Mark Twain, you know me, Elle, who said, the 2 most important days in your life are the day when you're born and the day you find out why. And you can experience the second most important day of your life. And, you know, that self-realization within your relationship has effects not only in your family life, but it has effects on your business life as well, as the breadwinner, for example. Because I always tell them, you know, you don't become a better lover by spending more time at work. It just doesn't work.
You know, it's interesting. I want to connect to one of the earlier speakers where she was talking about the relationship you have with your business, that your business has its own spirit. So then you're in partnership with your partner, but you're also in partnership with your business. So we aren't our businesses, we're in partnership with it. And I'm imagining that this idea of letting go and letting in is, again, it's so key for the manifestation part. If you don't have a surrender mechanism and a receiving mechanism, oh my gosh, my mind is spinning right now about this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I think what you're talking about is that it's just really subtle tweaks, right?
It starts, well, you know, it can be subtle, but what I advocate is, and what I guide my clients through is a you know, a process that has been proven in more than 30,000 coaching hours now. And so it's just a step-by-step process to first, you know, in activation, we have to identify the core false belief, and I call this the elephant thinking, right? The elephant in the room, so to speak. And when we identify this kind of like first domino piece, you know, that is the one that initiated everything else, because everything evolved from there. Because as you know, in the past, we all have those. There's an extraordinary incident that happened and we reacted to that, and reacted to it by teaching ourselves something that helped us in the moment.
Right.
You know, and we started to believe it, and therefore we created something like, oh, I don't belong, I'm not good enough, and there are thousands of others, of course. And so, and this is kind of like what I really, and you know, going deeper, finding really the root cause. What is it that keeps you still away? Because everything is connected here, and not only between the family life and the business, but internally for each and every one of us. So if we kind of like, you know, create a belief in the past without knowing better, of course, and you know, we live according to that, then it just disappears in our unconsciousness, and we develop patterns in our life because of that. And therefore we create a behavior because of that. So it's a chain reaction. And so when and I always make this comparison to kind of like saying, hey, walking like an Egyptian, because if you just take that for a moment as the behavior, that is the pattern part, and down here in the elbow, that is the belief system. And you kind of like walk like this and you try to go into a new direction, but you can't, because your false belief system will always carry you in that direction that you have programmed it in the past without knowing better. And that is when you see these patterns occur, because you're running in circles, and it's kind of like a stop sign showing in front of you, your face. And that means, hey, everything is okay, because I'm still on track like you programmed me in the past. It's just a reminder to us and tells us that, but we're not consciously aware that it's us that created that. And so we allowed it to happen. So over time, the most dangerous thing is that you can start to believe that's just who I am.
Right.
But that cannot be further from the truth. Because with letting go, letting in, you have the tools and you can crack your own code of transformation.
Yeah.
And this is what we do in activation. So you get used to that. You create an experience. I guide you through the process to that moment where you let go your core false belief and let in something else that you've never thought would exist, because only in that moment you are aware of what else is there after you did let go, like I realized on that bridge. Only after I did let go, I was able to see that there's something else. There was this tiny little light inside of me that I could feel again. And it was so powerful that it drew me back from jumping.
Wow.
And so I always tell these, when we're talking about there's the logical part. And so, yeah, of course, there's the logic. And, many people think they can talk themselves through transformation. It won't work. You have to feel it in order to perceive it. And therefore you can change. But if you're not feeling it, there's no change.
Yeah.
You're stuck in that same circle of loops, of patterns that you reappear, and you try to change something, on the surface. You want to, if you change your kind of like affirmations that are pre-done for you, it won't work either. So what I do with my clients after each session, we create personalized affirmations that come out of the session, out of their experiences, out of what they experienced, what they felt and perceived, because that is really the guidance they need. And we prepare them in that regard to make better decisions in that moment.
That right there is such a golden nugget. Like right there. I do something similar with my clients. Like if it's not your own personal affirmation or empowering question, I also go to, then it's not connecting to the flame. And I want to mention the fact that from the time I first met you, Uwe, when you talked about the spark, I was attracted to become your colleague because of the spark in your eyes. So when the flame is lit within, it shows in a human's eyes. Like there's that, you know what I'm talking about? And you can also see when someone's lost the light. I see it especially in children too, like when they start to lose the light. And so I'm really glad that you talked about that spark, because I think that's really, really important. We could talk for a long time. And we have before. We've done like 90-minute webinars together. I would love for you to share do you have a free gift for someone, a way for people to connect? I know that you have so many things, but what would you like to share here with this audience? And I'll make sure that they get the link to it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, we had longer conversations. That was so fun. So yes, folks can simply check my website. I have a case study of a couple, a high achiever couple who went through the process, and you learn a little bit about them. And as I mentioned on the website, you also find always the announcement for the next live demonstration. So when there's always the first Tuesday of the month, and my website is simple as my name, so it's www.uwedockhorn.com. So that is spelled UWEDOCKHORN.com. And there you find all that. We're in preparation, so that will come soon up also a quiz, which essentially it's also a great addition to the resources we have on that website. So thank
Oh,
you.
wonderful. And we'll make sure this on the page so that and wherever you're seeing this in the summit on YouTube, wherever you are seeing this recording, we'll make sure that information is there for you so you have it. Well, Uwe, thank you so much for sharing. Every time you speak, I didn't even take notes. You drew me in too much. Again, it was just so powerful and so beautiful. And I encourage people to reach out and learn more about what he is doing in the world. It is truly beautiful. And again, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.